everyone, and welcome to the work session for June 20th, 2023. At 6 o'clock, we called this meeting to order. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Orndorff?
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Here.
Vice Mayor Suey?
Here.
Commissioner Watson?
Here.
Commissioner Romanek?
Here.
Stand for the salute of the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being conducted in accordance to the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll go to public comment on agenda items only. If anybody has any questions, comments on the agenda items, please come to the podium, state your name and your comments, and please limit those to 5 minutes.
It was on.
It's on. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to, Ray Campari, I just wanted to give you an update on the work session, in the regular session for this evening. There are some rescindments for some cannabis resolutions. I want to explain what that's about, so give you an update on where we are. So as you recall, we established a limit of 21 resolutions of support for cannabis startups in the city. So back in March of this year, we issued our 21st resolution of support. And back at that time, I had mentioned to you there was going to be a natural attrition process. Those that we issued resolutions for, they're going to kind of fall away. So, and they're going to fall away for a variety of reasons. They're unable to find funding, the lease on the building goes away, their ownership changes, a variety of things will happen to make them kind of fall away. So once we issued the 21, I waited for a little while, and over the past 3 weeks, I've reached out to all 21 to find out where they are. So I've been talking to their lawyers and owners and brokers and a variety of people. As a result of those conversations now, I've had 5 of them indicate to me that they're not going to be able to open up in the city of Millville. So that's where we are. But going forward, you're going to be a participant in kind of this ebb and flow process, right? We're going to have these resolutions out there. They're going to fall away, and we're going to rescind them. So it's just kind of a natural evolution as we go through this process. Now, to that end, though, there are going to be some more resolutions or requests for resolutions coming forward. In fact, I have 2 on my desk right now that I'm reviewing that I'll bring to you guys next meeting in July for consideration at that meeting as well. So 2 more coming. But again, expect this kind of ebb and flow. In summary, if you were to ask me where we're going to be in like 24 months, based on what I'm seeing, I would suspect we're probably going to have maybe 6 to 8 operations in town active at that time. I don't see many more than that based on capital markets, the investments, the timeline at the state, and a variety of things are making this a slow process. So that's kind of where we are going forward. And then finally, and importantly though, recognize that every cannabis operation, once we give a resolution of support, that's not a golden ticket. They still have to go through planning process, construction, meet all the permitting, and do everything else that a non-cannabis industry business would have to do. So it's not a free pass. It's the same process they go through. So, but that's a quick update I wanted to give you guys.
Very good. Thank you, Ray.
Good. Thanks.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you. Seeing nobody else, we'll close the public comment on agenda items only, and we'll go to presentations.
Okay, so we have a presentation by NJEDA, Dr. Ross Whiting.
Good evening, Commissioners. I've got a great PowerPoint, as every consultant should have, so I need some support getting that on the screen here so you guys can see it. I don't know who can support with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
I did this once before, but it's been a bit, so.
Today's her birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
She's 25, everyone.
Got it. Oh, okay, cool. try again.
Oh, wait, go, you have to set up a Wi-Fi, I'm sorry.
I'm on the meeting.
You are?
Try again.
Yeah, try it again.
We've had a very spotty Wi-Fi connection in this meeting room today.
You got it.
We'll connect back into it.
It took her an hour to get that up there.
Okay, let's try it again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have, screen mirroring on yet?
I don't know. Close the one, try it again. I might have to talk you through this if we can't get this to work, but that's okay. I'm comfortable doing that. That's weird.
Can you just connect, make a sign, go forget the network,
Sure, and then restart.
right?
Or you-
Like
yeah,
where you
can do
have
that.
to type the password back in? Connect, and then go click on it. Forget. And then.
Try it again?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then now you need the password.
Go ahead, you wanna?
Yeah, let me see, I think it's. What was that password? Let's guess.
Do you need it? Do you need it, Jen?
It's in here.
Yeah. You want to write it down?
And that's the city Wi-Fi, it's different. Maybe the one, yes.
No worries. And then we'll try it again. And if it doesn't work, I'll just talk through it. Okay. Hmm.
No.
That's okay.
All day today, I was like an
Yeah.
hour here.
Just to
No
get
worries.
that
Well,
notes
I'll
down.
just talk through it. I'll look at the PowerPoint.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'm not going to take too much more of your time here. I'm trying to get the tech set up. I'll just talk through what we've got the updates for. And what I will also do is I will send you all this PowerPoint after the meeting this evening, so you all have it. Thank you all so much for having me. My name is Ross Whiting. I am a consultant at Dogwood Consulting. We work in evaluation and organizational development with nonprofits, local, county, and state governments, and K through higher education institutions to provide data that describes the impact those organizations are having, and also to provide information for those organizations to better organize their activities. And so I'm really glad to be here on behalf of Holly City Development Corporation. I've been working with Holly City Development Corporation for the last year-ish on the New Jersey Economic Development Association plan, which the city put together and contracted with HCDC to complete. And so I'm very happy tonight to present some first steps and action steps as a result of that plan that was developed and established 2 months ago. We've had some planning meetings related to that work, and I'm happy to present some of the work that's been done, and also to ask the commissioners in the city to formally adopt the plan as a plan that the city endorses, and also to continue the work together, collaborating with us as Ray and Sam have so gratefully done over the last several months. And so I will try to do this as succinctly as possible. As a result of the New Jersey Economic Development Association 21st Century Redevelopment Plan, there were 6 areas of focus, 6 work groups that came out of that are currently convening, and include collaboration from Holly City Development Corporation, the City of Millville, Millville Development Corporation, and then also local stakeholders including John Knoop, business owners including De Palma Realty, Tina's Hair Salon, Mission Spirits, the Authority of Cumberland County, and the Millville Police Department have all been involved in various ways in the creation of this plan and the action steps that have resulted from it, which I will share with you some first steps tonight. A little bit of history on that. We finalized the plan in January of 2023. In February of 2023, we did initial work group planning with some of those stakeholders to identify goal areas and action steps for those groups. In March 2023, I was here with you all presenting this plan, followed up with many of you in the future, and I appreciate those conversations. And in May 2023, we had the first meeting of NJEDA work groups, and tonight I'm presenting some of those findings to you. The first work group area is asset activation, vacant properties, and opening a business. Now, the first thing that was done almost immediately was an action taken by the group. A business owner from Tina's Hair Salon identified an opportunity to create door covers for vacant businesses that say things like, I could be a bookstore, I could be a record shop. And so those are currently in development, being printed, and will be placed on vacant properties as marketing and advertising for those vacant properties, so people can envision the types of things that are going to exist there. And so that's already been undertaken by the group and is in the works and going up on buildings very soon. We also have a plan to attract and retain businesses between Holly City Development Corporation and the City of Millville using UEZ funding. For new and existing businesses, we've proposed a type of forgivable loan and for renovation and business improvements, and that's both to attract new businesses to the area and also for some existing business owners to do upgrades on the businesses that exist. I believe the City Ray is going to work with Holly City Development to figure out how that UEZ funding can be used for that. And we're also working to understand what draws people to Millville. Millville Development Corporation is collecting data from local destination businesses to create marketing materials to draw primarily restaurants, but many other kinds of businesses as well to Millville, as restaurants have been identified as a primary area of focus for many people as a draw. The second work group area is community and collaboration and education connection to workforce development. This primarily involves sharing the results of the NJEDA plan with relevant stakeholders and inviting those stakeholders to the table. So we recognize that not every group is present at the table who needs to be at the table right now in these conversations. And so over the last couple of months, 2 months in fact, we've been reaching out to different groups. Ray's reached out to the Millville Chamber of Commerce, Rowan College of South Jersey. We've been looking into Cumberland County Technical Education Center, Millville Public Schools, and Cumberland County Workforce Development as areas, as people to include in those conversations and action planning moving forward. We don't want this to be a siloed experience at all. We would like this to be as open and communicative as possible, and so we're going to invite those stakeholders to the table to talk about these plans as well. We're also working in human services and education connection from K through higher education with the purpose of primarily in human services supporting the unhoused population. This is a large area of focus in these work groups and has been a primary area of also need in terms of expertise and knowledge. What we've identified is that there is no single organization in Millville that has all of the answers related to the unhoused population that currently exists in Millville and providing services. And what we've actually found so far is that many of those services are disparate and siloed at the moment. And so you have organizations like Inspira, the Millville Police Department, Complete Care, the Lutheran Church, the state of New Jersey, providing different kinds of resources to the unhoused population, but there are often not connections between those resources and people talking about the explicit needs of the group of people who are experiencing homelessness right now. And so that is a major area of focus. We've identified some sources of funding that could be used to address some of the challenges we're seeing in connecting those resources together, and have already had some conversations with those organizations to start to connect and find out what resources are available across those organizations so that we can more comprehensively provide supports and services to that group. The unhoused population was a major area of focus for the groups in the New Jersey Economic Development Association plan, and so that's going to remain an area of focus for us moving forward. There's also an effort in this area to increase public art, to work with the Millville Development Corporation, leading with the Millville School District to create an art center and multicultural events with students in the elementary school, work with the Levoy Theater, who is hosting a summer camp over the summer. Hands Up Silent Theater is also hosting a summer camp, and we want to make more visibility for Hands Up Silent Theater as they're growing their awareness in the larger community in New Jersey. And Clay College is also hosting a summer camp, and our hope is to connect some of these things to improve public art that exists within Millville. Restaurant development was a major area of focus and is a work group for us as well. One of the first suggestions we have is to activate spaces to serve as incubators. Now, we haven't identified any specific spaces yet, but the city has identified some locations that could be useful in terms of restaurant locations along either riverfront or riverview properties that might become available or are available currently. And so we're looking at ways to collaborate with the Rutgers Food and Innovation Center in Bridgeton and Rowan College of South Jersey to see if there are opportunities to create either apprenticeships or incubators from those organizations to come and do some work in Millville. That's at the preliminary stage, and so we'll provide updates as that becomes available. We're also looking to develop a request for qualifications to attract potential business owners, highlighting Millville's assets as a destination and targeting marketing to specific partners with proven track records of success. And so what that might look like is restaurant groups that have had maybe regional chain type feels. An example would be Sabrina's if you're thinking about Collingswood as an option. There are many local restaurateurs who might be looking for an additional location, and the idea is to market to those people specifically who have success in restaurant development and sustainability moving forward. Riverfront development is also a major area of focus in our work groups. The last work group session was spent identifying opportunities for development either directly along the riverfront or what we're calling river view spaces. So what spaces are available that are not currently green spaces, or what spaces are available from the city or private businesses that might be used to attract additional business owners for housing, for restaurants, for whatever kind of things might draw more people into the Millville area. And so what that's gonna look like is identifying available spaces, cleaning up city-owned property and taking pictures so that we can have it be marketable to potential customers and owners in the future, discussing public safety along the riverfront with the Millville Police Department, which we're going to continue to do, and then preparing pictures and marketing available for different websites so that this is more available. So if we have people like our realtors out there talking about riverfront development and riverview development, they have actual resources so potential investors can picture these things, picture what it will look like. Lots of potential in the riverfront area. The final work group area is aesthetics, attracting people and businesses, events, and business advertisement. In aesthetic improvements, there's been several murals that have been completed. Lighting has been repaired and replaced. We're also working to apply for funding. Millville Development Corporation is applying for funding to refurbish the information kiosks that currently exist in Millville. In the last meeting, a couple of priorities were identified, including line painting on public lots so that there's clearly identified spaces for people to park, and apprenticeship partnerships between the city and Holly City Development Corporation starting in 2024 with some existing funding that is available. We're also looking to attract people and businesses to the area. There's a marketing firm that Ray let us know was contracted with the city to do promote stories, post on LinkedIn, do the city's website, those kind of things. And what we're looking for is really more collaboration on brand development for what the city looks like. There are a lot of, as the NJ88 report found, a lot of disparate views of how Millville is viewed. Is it Glassdown? Is it the arts and entertainment? What is the actual brand and view of the city? And so aligning those things so people have a clear understanding and vision for what Millville could be has been identified as a priority, and brand development is critical to that piece of work. Finally, there's been identification of a need for a signature event, a Millville yearly, recurring, well-run, large-scale event that defines Millville as a place for people to welcome external people and internal people from Millville into the space and highlight its assets. The area of focus was identified as performing and fine arts as a festival, leveraging the current existing visual and fine arts that exist already in Millville and expanding that to include more performing arts as well, potentially including some kind of judging or adjudication process or competition. It's not 100% clear to me whether that will happen this year or there's some kind of festival in development. We have meetings tomorrow on these things, so work groups are updating tomorrow. We're very excited about that. But we will find out more about that tomorrow and determine whether that's a soon thing or a many years in the future kind of thing, and recurring events after that. The idea is to focus on comprehensive, well-run, and well-marketed events with a strong funding source. And some funding sources have been identified to develop potential events of that nature for Millville. Finally, I did want to highlight one quote from a business owner as they concluded our last work group in the last session. They said collaboration and development are the keys to unlocking the bright future of Millville. And it was such a poignant quote because this person sat in meetings all day with us and listened to every work group meeting. And it's really important to know that optimism exists within all of these work groups and that there's a forward momentum from all of the people who have been involved in this process so far. And so I come to you today asking for 4 things from the city, one of which we already have, which I'm very grateful for. Ongoing collaboration with the city and partner agencies. You guys have already, Ray has already demonstrated a commitment to showing up at these meetings and using city resources and city time to think about these things and really get into action. I've had Commissioner Hewitt in on meetings as well in some of these places as well. And I am so grateful to the city for committing those resources and hopefully collaborating more in the future in those areas. And I have no doubt that we will continue that partnership. It is really important to bring together all of the agencies that exist within Millville and talk about these things together, and I'm really glad to have the city as a partner in that work. The second thing I will ask of you, not tonight, but hopefully soon, is the adoption of the NGADA 21st Century Redevelopment Plan via resolution. And I will be emailing you all this PowerPoint in the future. I will make myself available for conversations about this work. Holly City Development Corporation has been leading this work in terms of the organization of work groups and driving the work forward as we identify action items with the group. I'm sure they would be available to talk about this work as well. But any resources that you need or questions that you have about what that might look like, I am more than happy to answer for you. The third thing we're looking for is future collaboration to identify and apply for funding. There are simply funding sources that are unavailable to nonprofits. And so Holly City Development can't be the only organization that has to apply for and identify funding in the future. And so what we're looking for is a commitment from the city to collaborate on identifying funding sources in the future, and then to act as a lead in funding sources that require a local government organization to be the lead on those funding sources. And finally, we like to think towards the future. So we don't exactly know what will come out of all of these work groups. And what we're looking for is more of an aspirational commitment from you, which is to commit to identifying resources for projects that align with city goals. And so as we continue to share information with you about these work groups, if there's something that aligns very closely with what your individual goals are, and you think, oh my gosh, there's this pot of funding that we have available that might be able to do this. Maybe we could reallocate it in this way. I ask you to be open to those conversations and really think about driving the work forward the best you can through your own positions as city commissioners. And so that is the presentation. I'm sorry you couldn't see it's a really great PowerPoint. There's pictures of Millville in it. They're great. So I took some of them when I'm here. So just know it's a great presentation. You'll see it. And so thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has now, or if you want to connect with me one-on-one, I'm happy to answer those questions as well.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. Appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
A lot of information. I know we've had.
I threw it at you. I'm sorry. Yes.
I've actually know that a couple people like Jay and a couple other Mike DePalma have met with you, and we've spoke on the outside of, that they're taking the initiative to meet in these different development groups and everything, the work groups, and it's really great to hear that businesses and people who live within Millville are taking the time and being dedicated to make sure that these things happen. It's, a lot of these plans have been set forth before us before, not just our commission, but many other commissions, and nothing's been done. So I think that the fact that everybody can continue to work together is going to be important. I know Ray and Heather and everybody has been doing that. So I want to just thank everybody for keeping that communication going, because that's just going to be key to actually putting all of these goals into reality.
Right. Agree completely. And what I can tell you is that everyone is very action driven. In these meetings, our intent is to create action steps that people follow up on, and then think about the ways that these things are enacted in the real world. And so I'm grateful for the acknowledgement of the need to act in these things. We've already done that in some ways, and it's as a result of the partners.
Thanks to your leadership.
Oh, thank you. Please.
I
It's
mean,
the partners who
I
do
know
the
you-
work.
I'm sure you have questions. The only thing that I think I heard over and over again is marketing. I really think that your brand development, I don't know how we can market if we don't have a brand that we understand first. So I think
Right.
that should be really a key element to who's Millville and who do we want everybody on the outside to see who we are, and really develop that and then move out. You can't really start without doing that first.
Right.
Because then how can you create a big event about Millville if they're, if you're just, I don't know what we're going to focus on or know what our brand is. How can we have a really big event to drive people annually? And who's going to pay for the marketing for each development group, the vacant properties, the community development, like you said, there's marketing everywhere. And that's a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of different individuals are going to be a part of that. I know that there's a lot of funding that has to be found. And I think that we as a city, this is just my personal thought, we need to have somebody in-house or a company that we work with. I know, Heather, you're a grant writer, but we can't always use Heather as the grant writer for certain things that we need to kind of make sure we have somebody that we can leverage and use those resources as well.
I just want to say, it's great seeing a study that kind of backs up what we're already doing.
Great.
Especially when it comes to riverfront development, with the rescue squad demolition, the marketing of the building on the corner of Buck and Main. We've flown a drone over the area, and we were forwarding all that information to the company that we hired to market the riverfront. We're moving forward with projects. And I noticed, one of the things was, it says, basically we do studies all the time and don't get anything done.
Yeah.
One of the comments inside your study. Well, we are starting to get stuff done. So we're moving in the right direction, the same direction. The one thing I wouldn't agree with is the forgivable loans with the UEZ money, because I think that money needs to be replenished and used for second generation loans. So that's one part of the study that I wouldn't support. That's me personally. I will, of course, try to convince my fellow commissioners of the same thing. And I did have a couple of questions on the survey itself.
Sure.
I noticed on page 11, which gave the questions, and one of the top 9 reasons people come to town is, one of the questions grouped the post office, library, and city hall together, 54%. So I understand, I look at it like this. We've invested a lot of money in the library, so I think as a city, not me personally, but a lot of entities have invested a lot of money in the library. By asking this question together, I look at the post office and city hall as 2 places that people have to go. You have to come here to get your dog license, your marriage license. A lot of people come here to pay their taxes. Post office, people have to go to the post office. The library is kind of like an option. You can go there or you can not go there. So in order to get better data, to make sure that we're investing our money in the proper place, I would love to see that question separated.
Sure. Yeah.
I know a lot, some of us had to ask less questions, right? But that's one data point that I really think does need to be separated in future studies. So
Great point. So what I'm hearing is separating out library, city hall, post office as resources of the city into individual areas of focus in the future.
Well, particularly the library, because you have places that you have to go. City hall, you have to go occasionally.
Yeah.
Right? The post office, you have to go, right? You mail stuff, whatever. The library, you don't have to go. You can go if you want to go. So that's kind of like an option. So, you have a building over there that costs $8 million. So how do I know that out of this 52%, it wasn't 6 people that went to the library and the rest went to City Hall and the post office?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I would love to get data on the ways that the library is used in the future. And in fact, I will say that NRTC funding has an evaluation component specifically focused on the uses of the library and who is using it. And I will have data on that at the end of this calendar year, specifically focused on the library. I can't speak to the other 2 locations exactly, but I wanted to say that exists.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Happy to provide it, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Myself, we've talked a lot, Rolf.
Yeah, of course.
We were in, myself and Chief met with Heather one. We have instituted, I don't know if people are noticing it or not, because it's a select group of people that are up on High Street on the weekends. We always have an officer there Friday evenings, Saturday evenings. We have committed to that. That's happening. They're either walking or they're on bikes. I'm going to echo the same thought for forgivable loans. High Street saw its day, and then came the UEZ, and then came everything was going to just make Millville shine. They got their forgivable loans. They either used them and abused them and went away, or they built to where they thought they were too big in a couple of instances and moved away. Again, forgivable loans. Myself, I can't be behind that. I can be behind a lot, but I can't be behind forgivable loans.
I hear that. And so we're in the early planning stages of the forgivable loan conversation. It was floated as an idea in our last conversation, and we still don't even know what the parameters of that might look like.
Right.
And so if there are concerns that you all have about that, I'd love to hear them. I want to be able to address that, because if we're not using the UEZ funding wisely to develop businesses, then there's no point in using it.
Correct.
And so absolutely, I'd love to hear more about what your concerns are. I hear some of them moving away, after the forgivable loans have developed their businesses. I want to hear more about that so we can create some parameters around that. I'm sure Ray will be on that as well.
And as you know how to get a hold of me.
Of course. Thank you.
You guys have any-
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Of course.
Thank you, Ross.
Thank you, Ross.
Right. We'll move on to discussion of commissioners. Commissioner Romanek?
At this time, Mayor, I have nothing regarding the work session meeting. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. Commissioner Hewitt?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Commissioner Watson?
Thank you for the opportunity, but nothing at this time, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. You guys are so busy. Vice Mayor?
Okay, so on the agenda, you'll see discussion sale of block 124, lot 16.06. It's a 44-acre parcel across the street from the airport. If you were standing on the runway, facing across Buckshot Road, and look to your left, that would be the wooded section of that. We did receive an offer and spoke with Ray. And what we'd like to do is ask for RFPs for that parcel of land with a minimum bid starting at a certain amount to be determined based on the other offer. So rather than just sell it outright, we asked for RFPs, we should get a better price and a better project. So I wanted to see if we had a consensus to do that.
I thought part of that was Green Acres, if I was correct.
Not
when
this
you
part,
last-
no.
Okay,
No.
so that section's not Green
This is the
Acres, because I
section
know
that's
there
not
is a
Green
portion of that land on that stretch of land that was
Well,
Green
what
Acres.
we're doing a subdivision.
Okay,
Is the
okay.
subdivision done?
Yeah.
Subdivision's done.
Okay.
So that has been divided out from the Green Acres.
Who was interested in the property? What would they be building on that property or
Their
developing?
offer was non-specific, so we want to get specific offers with specific proposals so we can make the best decision possible.
And we would also have a redevelopment plan for this if
Correct.
we would have say
Would
in
you
what we are
find
able to put
somebody
there.
And you like what they're proposing, that would be when you would do the redevelopment plan.
Okay.
You guys want to move forward, that will get a
Yeah,
resolution.
I agree with it, you know.
I'm
We
good.
want to make sure that we have the best offer and the
Yeah,
best
absolutely.
options, that multiple companies we can make the best decision on what we think would be best for that property.
Absolutely.
And we can use this offer as setting a goalpost for the RFP, if we already have one interested, basically.
Certainly.
Yes.
Which I think is a valuable part of this conversation. So by going to an RFP, we can set a minimum price, and we can identify selection criteria. Now, price is not going to be the primary selection criteria. It's going to have to, the selection criteria is going to include jobs, what kind of jobs. We can dictate non-cannabis if we wish to. We can dictate industry that's complementary to the adjacent airport. So there are a lot of variables we can put in there. So the offer we have is non-specific, but now we're sitting on an opportunity where we have 3 other interested parties. Now we can control the show and say, here's what we really want for this opportunity. And Lisa, to your point, Amir, to your point, there was, I think, about 80 or 90 acres there. We subdivided off part that was wet and part that was green acres, leaving us to 43 acres.
Okay.
Thank
there-
you for the clarification.
Thank you. Would there
Thank
be
you.
a conversation with either the DRBA or anybody around the airport, like
We talked to them about height restrictions already, we're fine.
Big Sky? I know they've been around for a while. Is there any expansion for them? Do they have any people who are interested? Would we allow them to know that that property is?
We're going
Okay.
to let everybody know that we possibly can.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I would agree that I think that we should do the RFP to make sure that we have the best opportunities put in front of us.
So, and the only other thing I have is you have the map behind you, the South Jersey Transportation.
That we just got today, yesterday.
God, I forgot the acronym now, what the acronym stands for. Anyway, this is for 3rd Street, Wheaton Avenue, and what it basically does, when you guys read through all your paperwork, is it takes the trucks out of the residential area and directs them towards 2nd Street where they belong and not through the center of town. So it gets them out of the residential areas and onto the highway. So it was, an engineering department worked on this, and you can see, it also went to the county. It was a good collaborative effort, and it'll help us out a lot with the traffic flows. Just wanted to point that out.
This is referring to the transportation
So
planning.
this is going to
board.
additionally
yeah, that-
implementing
okay.
high
Yeah, I don't know
visibility
if you guys have
crosswalks,
this
improved
also.
parking, lane delineation, curb extensions, as well as improving parking between 49 and G Street and Wheaton Avenue. Okay.
That's all I had.
Do we like to do this now? I'm sorry.
I was sitting here, I just wanted to make sure you had it.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. All right. So I think that's everything, right?
That's all I had.
All right, perfect. I don't have anything at this time. We have no new business, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Public comment portion, if, we've now reached the public comment portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to address the commission, please come to the podium, state your name, address your concerns, and please limit those comments to 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Anil Patel, and this is Aman Singh, and we own the Holy Plaza on 201 Cates and 2nd Street. And I don't know if this is the right forum or not, but I'm a resident of Pennsville, Salem County, and my partner's resident of Delaware. And we acquired the plaza in 21 and, did some lighting, fixed it up, replaced some of the tenants that were a nuisance. And previously, there was a church group occupying 2,000 square feet of space, and they vacated, and now we have another church, 3 or 4 church groups that are interested in using the 2,000 square foot space for either counseling and, religious gatherings. And for some reason, I didn't deal directly with the city, Millville, but my partner did, and they said that you cannot use it for church group as a tenant, and I was just curious, and again, I'm not sure if this is the right form for it.
Well, if you
I'm
got,
guessing you went to the zoning. You went to the zoning
Zoning
department?
board, yeah.
can I address it?
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like someone made an application for a zoning permit, and that application was denied. And my suggestion would be talk to an attorney, because you may have some remedies. You can appeal a determination by the zoning officer to the Board of Adjustment, or if it's a use that's not permitted in the zone, and I'm not exactly sure what the zone is and what's permitted and what's not, then you can make an application for a use variance
Okay.
before that board. But you really ought to get some legal advice, and I'm not in a position to give that to you.
Right, okay. Yeah, I was just curious, because previously, before we acquired it, it was permitted for that use, so I wasn't sure if that was a variance previously and you need another variance again to occupy it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was grandfathered in. I really don't know. You should talk to an attorney, a land use attorney, that can help you.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Thank you.
Seeing nobody else, we'll close the public comment portion of the work session meeting. And any comments of commissioners? No? Okay. We do have a resolution for,
Yep, so we have a resolution authorizing a closed session for the following matter: DRBA lease agreement with the City of Millville under contract negotiations.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
I have a motion and second on resolution for the closed session.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. No, we don't need him to close.
Hello? Can I just speak loudly enough?
There you go.
There we go.
You're on.
All right, and I just need a motion to close the work session.
Make motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
These are gonna stay on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.